Welcome to Can You Beat Fallout 4 as a Femboy. For this challenge, I'm only allowed to wear skirt and dresses, and to make this as difficult as possible, I'm going to do unarmed only, on survival difficulty. With that being said, let's start this challenge. I do the usual glitch of just spamming shelves to level up easily, because I'm on survival and I don't care about doing cheap things when I die every 10 seconds. And I start a quest. There's this quest where you can find a Deathclaw and steal its egg. Then you can sell it or give it back to its mother for a Deathclaw gauntlet. And a Deathclaw gauntlet is the second best unarmed weapon in the entire game. So I've decided I'm going to steal the egg and give it back to its mother. As the mama Deathclaw looks at me, I expect a reward, but since this isn't the hub, sadly I have to settle for the Deathclaw gauntlet. Oh well. Then I end up dying from mosquitoes and have to do that all over again. I die from these guys a lot because they're too fast to avoid because they fly and they poison you when they suck your blood. Eventually though, I'm able to try out the gauntlet on some flies and die. Yeah. For some easy XP, I decided to help out Paladin Dance when the ghouls attack him and agreed to go to the facility. Right now I have to use the Blitz perk and simply hide and hope I don't die, because right now I'm in the nude. So I simply watch Paladin Dan and my underwear get destroyed by a bunch of synths and activate a nuclear reactor that melts his insides. But he survives because he's wearing power armor, or because he's a synth. I never figure out which one. Anyway, after that I agree to join the Brotherhood, but I won't actually do that. I go to Diamond City and I actually buy a skirt. I was hoping for a dress because a dress works with the ballistic weave. Doesn't, but we'll have to settle for now. I was able to pull off a triple kill with my blitz and sneak abilities, which was pretty sick. Honestly, an unarmed build is extremely fun in survival. Hard, but fun. I then go out to kill some raiders in Concord to try to save Preston. I sneak around and just simply slice their heads off. Yeah, when I get monetized, this video is probably going to get demonetized, honestly. But look at that. That's beautiful. I then talk to Preston, and I agree to help deal with the raiders. And I didn't use power armor, so instead I had to hide in buildings and let the Deathclaw do most of the work for me. I was hoping that Preston and the raiders can whittle down the Deathclaw's health, so then I can get the very last strike. And it almost works, but I was a little bit off, so yeah, I was punished for that. I do try it again as I fight the raiders because they like going into my buildings and lighting me on fire, which is not very nice. As I wait for them to come to me, I end up striking them down. I've never seen this before, but I kill the raiders the second time, and guess what? The raiders killed the Deathclaw. I've never seen that happen. I eventually am able to find my dress, though, as I go to meet the railroad, because I need a ballistic weave so it feels like my bones aren't made from literal glass. As then I meet up with Deacon as he vouches for me, and I am let into the railroad after some deep conversation. As then Deacon takes me on to a mission to recover some stuff they lost from their old base. As now I go in to start to tear the synths apart, as I'm forced to use the Ninja perk and the Blitz perk, which are basically my two favorite perks for this entire run. And I rely on Deacon to do a lot of damage, because sometimes I just can't sneak up on them because my sneak isn't high enough. And I die here and there because, well, believe it or not, fighting a bunch of people with higher powered lasers wearing nothing but a dress is not a good idea. As I use hit and run tactics, I destroy a few of them and run away. And I do this very often, and I use Deacon as a meat shield anytime I can. The power of using your buddy as a human shield and hit and run tactics, I am eventually able to clear out the synths and even given a weapon that I cannot use. As we get the MacGuffin, I then go back and talk to Desdemona as I am let into the railroad. Now I have to do a few more quests for them so I can get the ballistic weave, as one of those quests is helping an escape synth. So we have to help them get to a designated area. To do that though, I have to clear out the raiders and the abandoned church. It isn't too hard. Luckily I don't take damage in VATS for some reason, so that helps. I meet up with the synth and then we begin to clear out another area so they can do a path. Because, of course, I am able to lead them to the correct safe house and I save the day. After that I do some more quests, like clearing out some raiders, so the railroad can set up a base, because they need a place to hide escape synths. And yeah, it's a little difficult, but with my blitz and sneak ability being high up, I'm able to clear them out. After that, I have to sneak back in a dangerous territory. I even fight some super mutants along the way. Take down a legendary with a sneak attack, and I'm finally able to get the ballistic leave and upgrade my skirt. So now I go to try to fight Swan so I can get the better unarmed weapon, the Power Fist. But yeah, it's not easy. Believe it or not, but trying to fight a giant behemoth with your fist is something hard to do. Shocking, I know. Eventually I just give up and decide to help save Nick. I do have a little bit trouble because fighting people with submachine guns, even with a skirt with ballistic weave in it, it's still a skirt, so it's kind of difficult. And to be honest, this is difficult no matter what you do, especially in survival. But I'm able to get some sneak attacks in there and kill them one by one. I do almost die, but I am saved by a level up, which is very nice. I then get the next ninja perk, which will help me out severely, making it so my attacks do way more damage when they're a sneak attack, now doing 4 times the damage instead of twice the amount of damage. So that's very nice, as then I'm easily able to destroy them. Luckily, the triggermen are all glass cannons. They do a lot of damage, but they don't have barely any in defense, so I'm able to simply just chop them down. As then I meet up with Nick as we talk, and he agrees to help me save my son, but I'm gonna have to kill all these gunners. By the way, the main quest of the game is to try to find your son, if you did not know. I then managed to go out and kill the triggermen. I've been calling them gunners the whole time, oh well. And they kill me a lot. I mean a lot. Because I suck at this game, apparently. I try to do sneak attacks and do anything, even just direct attacks, but Skinny Malone just tears me a new one over and over and over again. Eventually, though, I do get a clean hit on him, but I die anyway. Eventually, I just run away and try to let Nick do most of the work, as Nick wears them down, and then I try to slice them apart. Skinny Malone definitely puts up one hell of a fight, and for some reason, even though he is just wearing a tuxedo, he has the best armor in the game, apparently. I eventually get a pretty clean blitz and sneak attack, as then I hide and let Nick do the work like I did before. As I eventually keep doing this, until Skinny Malone dies. And even then, he almost kills me. I don't know why, but on survival, Skinny Malone is like a god, apparently. I then talk to Nick, and Nick leaves, as then I'm able to upgrade my weapon, so I can kill Swan. I want that power fight Kellogg, but it's not easy. But I have a plan. Eventually, I just give up and decide to do things dirty. I decide to cheat, just like the Russians did in the Olympics, by downing a bunch of Psycho and Jet, and then taking down Swan. I use a sneak attack, Psycho, and many other things, all in one hit, to beat him, but I almost die from an overdose. Eventually, though, I do get the Power Fist, and I'm able to start the quest, as then I bribe the secretary for her to give me the key to Kellogg's house. As now I have the key, I then investigate Kellogg's house, and then go over to Fort Hagen, where a super mutant bomber almost kills me. Then I have to kill some synth, and honestly, this is the easiest time I've ever done this in survival. Unarmed is extremely hard when you start, but once you master the sneak, blitz, and ninja perk, it becomes a little bit easier. It's definitely no cakewalk, and I still die a bunch, but it makes things a lot better. I also hit people through walls sometimes, so that's good. It's a glitch, by the way. You can't do that normally. This game has lots of bugs. I always love it when a bug actually goes in your favor. Eventually, I'm able to make it to Kellogg, as I simply use Vats and Jet and simply pump his face full of iron until his head blows off. I do take a lot of damage from the synth, so I am forced to run away and fight them. But after killing Kellogg and deal with all that, I then go into Nick's brain and discover that the Institute is using teleportation. So I then glow into the glowing sea because there's an escape Institute scientist living there. And the glowing sea is basically hell on Earth with the mostly radiated creatures and destruction over there. I meet Virgil and he tells me I need a Courser chip to teleport to the Institute, but to do that I need to destroy Courser. So I track down the Courser who's having a scuffer with some gunners, and I need to destroy the gunners to get to the Courser. And doing so isn't really that hard at first, but there's one big challenge here, and that's the guy with the rocket, who always kills me no matter what run I am in. It takes me forever to get past this guy. Eventually I'm able to kill him though, and then I kill the rest of the gunners with no problems. Luckily, this place is perfect for my fighting style because it's small, closed in, and I can get up to people close. And I'd simply just use VATS and pound down the courser until he's dead. With the courser chip, I then talk to the railroad and they agree to decode the courser chip. With the courser chip decoded, it's time for me to go. But before I do, I realize for some reason there's a Brotherhood soldier in the Underground Railroad. That's not supposed to be there, so I kill her. Then I meet up back with Virgil. He gives me the plans, as then I start to build the teleporter. As then I finish the teleporter, I go inside the Institute. The Great Institute. Everyone hates this faction, but I honestly really like the Institute, and I'll explain why later. I then had to talk to my son, and I find free water. And that's the whole reason I like the Institute, because they give you free water. Anyway, I then decide to tear down the Institute by doing some undercover work. I upgrade my weapon, and now I have to go and get a password, because we want to free a bunch of synths. But to do that, we need a password. So I then end up going to get the password, going back to the Underground Railroad, and eventually I find what I need, and I talk to Desdemona. I then go back to the undercover work, and we agreed to stage an armed rebellion against the Institute. But before that, we have to keep working with the Institute so they don't expect anything. So we then go out to capture a synth and bring it back. Kind of the whole opposite purpose of the railroad, but whatever. You win some, you lose some, I guess. As this is actually the easiest time I've done this, because Sneak with Blitz is extremely overpowered and a great counter to explosives. But eventually I do make it to the top, and I do the reclamation process and turn Gabriel off because he's actually a machine. Then I kill the raiders, and bada boom, bada bing, the synth is back to the Institute. I then meet my son, who's older than me. Fallout is Fallout. And he tells me about the attack on Bunker Hill. So then I warn the railroad, and I decide just to get through it. If you simply just kill the courser right away, you can skip through the whole quest. So that's what I do. I try to sneak up on it, but for some reason it doesn't work. Maybe because it's not hostile. But I simply just use VATS to destroy the courser. After that, I meet up with Father. He's disappointed in me, but since I can't fail that unless I tell him I did it, he lets me off the hook. As then, I go down and decide to take out some synths, because I need to take out synth guards so the rebel synths can stage an uprising. So that's exactly what I do, as I go around taking them out one by one, destroying them. The synth guards do put up somewhat of a fight, and by somewhat of a fight, I mean they destroy me a lot. But eventually I use this old tactic. It's called trying to run away once you hit a synth so you don't die. Basically just using hit and run tactics and using VATS as much as possible. It works out pretty well. I do get stuck and die a few times, but eventually I am able to clear out all the guards once and for all and save the day. This was a pain in the butt. I don't know why, but I honestly died more times here than with the gunners because of just how frustrating it was. They would block all your punches all the time. Anyway, eventually though, I then go to mass fusion to get a nuclear reactor to power the Institute, which makes me an enemy of the Brotherhood. So from here on out, the Brotherhood is my enemy, as now I have to fight through Brotherhood soldiers. The Brotherhood does put up one hell of a fight, because even with my power fist, power armor is still very strong. But eventually though, I am able to make my way down by clearing a path of blood. They do catch me a few times, and I do almost die a lot, and do die, but overall, it's not as challenging as I thought it would be. As I make it to the nuclear reactor, I then use some Rad-X, which is prescribed to me by a doctor. Yep, definitely prescribed medicine. To go in and get the nuclear reactor and not die from radiation. After this, the robots blow up if you punch them too much. So I simply have to wait until the Assaultrons come out, which are robots I actually can punch to death. And they do put up on a fight, and they almost kill me, because if that laser comes out of its head, I'm basically dead. And each time I fight, it gets closer and closer and closer until I'm basically dead. But luckily with VATS and some well-timed punches, I am just barely able to destroy it before it lasered me to death. As then I'm able to fight my way out, and I go back to the Institute to learn that some people are rising up against me on the House Divided quest, where basically some Institute scientists shut down the food production center with some robots to starve us out. So I have to go through and fight some synths and then talk them out of it. The synths do put up one hell of a fight, but I am able to destroy them eventually. As then I make it in, and they are not convinced by words, so I have to go in and destroy the synth guards. Luckily, I'm able to get some sneak attacks, which destroys them pretty easily. After that, I then put them on probation, then I deal with some gunners. The gunners destroy me the first time, but the second time, I actually use stealth, which is the whole point of the build, which I should have used the first time, and I actually get out some great kills, as I'm able to destroy the gunners. Sometimes VATS glitch, and it ruins the stealth, but other times it goes well. As then, I'm able to talk this scientist into joining the Institute. Now, from what you could see, you can probably guess I'm either doing the Railroad and Institute ending. And by the way, I'm going to do the Railroad ending because I barely ever do them. And we all hate them, but sometimes you got to swallow the pill and free some synths. I then put the nuclear reactor in as everyone cheers, powering the Institute once and for all. Hip hip hooray, the Institute has unlimited power. Then I am made the director and I talk about destroying the Brotherhood. But before that can happen, I then get a news report that the Brotherhood are on its way to destroy the Railroad. So we have to defend the Railroad against the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood launched an attack, but I'm able to quickly die. And I die a lot. It's kind of hard to sneak up on these guys when you have such little room, and one of their guys is a heavy with a laser machine gun, which does a lot of damage, believe it or not. That laser machine gun is absolutely destroying me over and over again. Eventually, though, I get lucky, and he does die, and then I'm able to destroy the rest of the guards, wiping out the Brotherhood and clearing out the first match, because the Brotherhood are all across the old abandoned church. As then I talk to Glory, who dies, and she doesn't have a synth component, so basically she's a liar, plot twist of the century. And then I deal with the Brotherhood upstairs by using stealth attack and blitz attacks. And when that doesn't work, I simply try to punch them and hope they don't shoot me. I know it's very simple and barbaric, but these are really the only strategies that I have. And by using stealth, blitz, luck, and running away, and also learning from my mistakes each time I die, which is a lot, eventually I am able to clear out the church by leading them towards me and taking them on one by one. Nice, very nice. This battle was hell on earth, and it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but eventually I managed to clear them out. But now we gotta deal with the Brotherhood, so our plan is to sneak into the police station. By sneak, I mean murdering everyone, taking a vertibird, going to the Brotherhood airship, and blowing it up. But to do that, we're gonna have to clear out the police station, which is even harder than the church. Hooray! This is so much fun. So I tried to sneak around and do as many stealth attacks as possible, but VATS would glitch out sometimes, or there'll be more people there than I thought, and it would simply complicate things a lot. All I could really do was hit people, hope that I don't die, and then run away. I even glitched a guy's face into a wall. Eventually though, by my stealth attacks and by blitz, which I say a lot, I know, I was able to clear things out. It definitely wasn't easy though, and I had a lot of close calls along the way. I even had to use jet just to survive, and it didn't work. So I tried again, and I managed clearing them out. As now we have to get onto the helicopter, but there's an enemy helicopter attacking us, or vertibird I guess. But I was able to simply just hide back and let Deacon deal with it. As Deacon dealt with the vertibird, I then get on, as I can't use the machine gun. I simply use a stealth boy to try to sneak on the Pridwin. As I sneak on, put all the bombs on, then die because Tinker Tom is a shit driver, so then I have to do that all over again. This time I use a stealth boy before I get on the vertibird, which helps a bit. Sadly, you can't really crouch, so my stealth is not that good on the vertibird. By the way, eventually I do end up blowing up the Brotherhood and getting stealth maxed out, as then it's finally time for me to destroy the Institute. As I go into the Institute and destroy all the synth guards and scientists guarding the teleportation area, and then we teleport everyone in, as it's time for a mass assault. As Desdemona and her forces are teleported in, it's time we attack the Institute. And by attack, I mostly stay back and let them do most of the work, because there's not a bed here for a while. I don't feel like doing all this over again, so I just simply hide back and let them do it. I do help out every once in a while, of course, but for the most part, it's mostly them doing the work. Desdemona then talks to me about the Institute, and then I say, "Shut up, Desdemona," as she gives me explosives. As then, I battle through some synths, and even get to punch a gorilla to death. That's kind of nice. Well, I guess not, because it's a endangered species, but it's a robot, so I guess that makes it okay? Or does that make it even more endangered? I honestly don't know. Anyway, I simply hide back and let the railroad clear out the Institute, as then I go out and kill my son, and then go into the Institute terminal, open all the doors, shut down some synths, and don't put the evacuation relay because, well, I want everyone to die and suffer just how I suffered. As then I put the bomb on the reactor and leave. And I die. As then I have to go back and plant the bombs again. As I plant the bombs in the reactor, I then start to run out, as I am eventually able to get away. After getting away, I am confronted by my robot son that father built for me, so then I immediately take him along with me because I'm doing the railroad, so it only really makes sense. After taking him, I then talk to Tinker Tom. I leave the Institute, blow it up, and prove yes you can beat Fallout 4 as a Femboy. Sorry it took me so long to upload this. My computer pooped itself, and then I had family over, and just a bunch of stuff was happening. Happy Pride Month. Hope you had a great day. I love you all so much. All of you mean the world to me. Peace out. You're the best.